Josh Giddey is a 21-year-old NBA basketball player that is now basically being destroyed by the internet because of allegations of him having relations with an underage female. Now, the case is weird because it's like the allegations came out and it's instantly been like, yeah, he's obviously in the wrong. He obviously did it, basically comparing him to Karl Malone. And for those who don't know who Karl Malone is, Karl Malone was a basketball player that's mostly known for playing with the Utah Jazz back in the 90s. Never being able to win the title because Michael Jordan. But with Karl Malone was like 21 or like 23 when he had sex with a 12-year-old, got her pregnant. She ended up having a kid at 13, and he took the girl's family to court to basically not have custody of the kid and not be forced to pay child support. And he won the case. He paid maybe like $500,000 or $1 million to the girl and her family, and went on with his career. But ever since people start figuring about it now, it's just become more common knowledge. Now every time anybody talk about Karl Malone, they don't even talk about his career. They just talk about the fact that they basically call him Karl Malone number 13 or whatever. Since most people talk about how he got a 13-year-old pregnant, but she wasn't 13, she was 12, which I guess 13 make it sound better, but no, it's really be Karl Malone 12. But I digress. It's not about Karl Malone. It's about Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey. They said that the girl was like 15 or 16, which
No, well, actually, I think at first the allegation, at first the allegation was that she was a 14-year-old girl.
yeah, I think they said something like that. Um, they said I've seen 14, 15, and 16. No one knows the girl's actual age, but people just been making their own assumptions. Um, as more as came out about it, well, another reason why people, I'll say this before I get into the more context with it. Another reason why people would instantly just say, yeah, he did it was because he did an interview. He was interviewed during practice or maybe after a game. I'm pretty sure he was during practice, and the reporter asked him, "What did you think about the allegations in the case?" And he was like, "I understand the question, but I'm not going to speak on that right now," which is the right thing to say. There is nothing he can say that's going to make people believe or make people think that he didn't do it. There's nothing he can say. All he can do is prove that he didn't do it with whatever evidence he have to prove that he just either didn't do it or didn't know the girl was underage. Because from what it seems like, he didn't know the girl was underage. Because here's some more context with it. I read an article that was saying how like what happened was they met at I think like around 2019. So when Josh Giddey was like 18 or 19 years old, he met this girl at an 18-year-old plus club. And if you met this girl at an 18-year-old plus club, then it's on the club for not being able to tell that this girl was like underage. So how did the underage girl get in an 18-year-old plus club to even be in that situation in the first place? I'm not trying to case for Josh, but I know more about him than I know more about the girl. Obviously, I've been watching. I knew Josh Giddey was when he was playing in college because I watched him play college. I'm not the biggest fan of college basketball, but for some reason I watched him get drafted and everything. I was like, this guy is going to be a great player eventually, and it sucks to see his career potentially being put at a halt because of something he probably did or did not do. Now, if he did it, lock him up, put him under the cage, put him in the coffin, give him the chair. All right, you already know how I feel about those type of people. But if he didn't do it, then he shouldn't be scrutinized for something he didn't do. I'm all of the mindset of innocent to proven guilty. I don't believe in guilty to proven innocent. I don't do that. I don't believe in killing them until all the evidence say yeah he knew going into it. He knew beforehand. And also, I also seen another article that was saying like, yeah, he didn't know that the girl was underage when he met at the club, but he still kept in contact with her after the fact that he knew that she was underage. So there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of different opinions going into it, but nothing's concrete. Literally, none of this is concrete yet. This is all he said, she said stuff. And the family of the girl, what we do know is the family of the girl has refused to say anything. So it seems like the family is looking for a settlement. And Josh Giddey doesn't look like he want to give him a settlement. So I hope he don't give him a settlement. I hope he take this to court, fight it, do whatever you gotta do, sue the club, whatever. Because if he settles out of this right now, for the rest of his guy's career and the rest of the guy's life, they're gonna basically be associating him with this incident. So I don't care what legal team may tell him to settle. Do not settle this. Don't do it. Look at how they did Michael Jackson. He settled with all those families, and now the dude bro has been dead since 2009. He is still getting sued. His estate is still getting sued for stuff, and every time they go to court, the evidence is so inconsistent and so invalid. The judge have to throw it out every single time. Every single time. Crazy. All because he refused to. All because his legal team told him to settle. Man, don't chill, Josh. Just don't do it.
Now, what I'll say about the incident on the Josh Giddey situation is that the only thing that I knew about the entire situation was the very first post made about the incident, which was the selfie that Josh made with the alleged 14, 15, and 16-year-old. Now, I personally just don't believe someone who knew that the girl that he was having these relationships with was underage would just openly post a picture of himself with the female. It doesn't make any sense to me, and it just makes you think that there's like someone in the bigger picture trying to pull the strings in this situation, because the simple fact of, like my co-host said, the family is trying to settle. Why are they trying to settle if this pro basketball player is having a sexual relationship with their underage daughter? It doesn't make sense to me, because
You know what's crazy? I don't mean to cut you off,
I know,
but
like, you
I was
good.
watching this video that was talking about the R. Kelly situation, and they were saying how like why is it that R. Kelly's the only one that's why is R. Kelly the only one in jail right now for the stuff he did with those underage girls and families when he basically paid the families so they wouldn't go to court and paid the families off. So why aren't these people's moms and fathers in jail when they took money when they knew what was going on? Because R. Kelly or whoever was involved or his assistant or whatever who he told to get the girls knew and explained to the families what was going on and what was happening. That's in the court documents. So and they accept it. So why are the parents not being charged with basically child abuse and child neglect? The same thing here. If y'all looking for a settlement, knowing that there's a potential that Josh Giddey is a weirdo, then y'all quite literally just pimping out your daughter. And you should be in the same boat as Josh Giddey. If it turns out that bro's a weirdo, and I've seen this other case where people are like, well, you got to think about the age of consent in these different states, and a lot of people saying, well, this happened in California. I don't know how true that is because Josh Giddey plays for OKC, Oklahoma City. Now, most of these basketball players they travel a lot. Obviously, they have to travel between games and stuff. But but most of the times they're in their respective cities. Most times practicing or playing with the team, coaching, meeting with ownerships, etc. stuff that they do to as an NBA player. Because as an NBA player, people just think that basketball players are just you just put ball in hoop and that's all you do and you practice. No, there's way more to being a basketball player than that. But most people don't know that or understand that. So that's just the life of a professional athlete. You have people that criticize you because you're a public figure, you're a public athlete, and that's you have to accept that because that's your occupation. But yeah, the family's weird, very weird.
Very weird. Because I know in my heart, I ain't settling. I'm I'm taking this to court. I swear to God, on everything that I love and hold dear, I'm taking this to court if this was my child. But obviously, the girl lied, and so if this does go to court, I ain't saying that she is. Actually, no, I did just say I lied. I did was there was a
Allegedly, she's lying.
allegedly
It's
she's
not
lying.
even allegedly she lying. If it's a fact that she went to an adult club underage, bro. What now I question your morals and the person that you are at that point because that's sick. You because like it sucks that we live in a time where some person someone who's underage can't go to jail or can't even really be charged or even looked down on as a predator because everything's put on the fact that oh well they're above age. You should tell the difference between a 16-year old and an 8-year old. I've been seeing it a lot. And to be fair, you should, but and there's a pretty big but. Not every 16 and 15-year-old look like a 16 and 15-year-old. There are plenty of them that don't. There are plenty of them that lie, and makeup is a thing, filters are things. And I know you're saying that, well, it's a club. Is it? Well, okay. Alcohols are in clubs. I'm pretty sure it's a private club. So, and I understand you say like, well, he's not 21, so he should be legally able to drink. He's an NBA player. You don't think they drink? Like, you don't think they can pay people off to get alcohol, especially if it's one of those like 18-year-old private clubs where drinking is based off what the owners say it is. So private property is private property. So there's all these different factors you have to take into account. It's not as simple as oh yeah, nah, dude's a weirdo. So let's label him as weirdo. Nah, it's too much to there's too many different factors that's at play right now. And with the lack of information from all these different news outlets, I don't like that everybody just condemning dude so quick without knowing the full like I want all the information. Like I understand that we're the media. Like this is a podcast for Christ's sake. We are the media, but I don't want to have like and we do clickbait, but I don't want to have that type of clickbait and it's basically us saying like, yeah, we don't know because we don't know. I don't want that to be something we ever get to or do as a podcast. No,
No,
that's just not it.
just a clickbait, just to get views and clicks on the video.
Yeah,
Nah, never. But if is that all?
that's my take on it.
I ain't really had a take on it. I just hope and pray that Josh Giddey ain't a child diddler. That's just the truth. Because and if it comes out to light that he isn't, and this was all employed by this woman, shame on her. But the next topic doesn't really kind of tie into this topic,